Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I'm Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined by Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports, Bruce Marshall at Bruce A. Marshall. Make sure you guys are giving them a follow so you don't miss out on any of the good info. All right. This is a game that I looked at initially and I go, wait, this can't be right. I'm looking at the line in reverse. Mississippi opened as a 4-point dog at Memphis. Now 5.5-point dog. Whenever I see an SEC team catching points against a team like a Memphis or a Louisville or whatever, I have to pump the brakes and say, okay, what am I overlooking here? This looks too good to be true.
So you like taking the dog in this one?
No. I don't think I can take the points here with Mississippi. Now that we've seen the line move as well, I'm looking at this going, what am I missing?
Well, the thing is with Mississippi, they got new offensive defensive coordinators. The first game, Memphis is pretty set. They got the quarterback coming back. Memphis is one of those teams that a lot of people have been talking up this year. I mean, they think they're going to be able to win the conference or at least compete for the top spot in that conference. And I like this Memphis team. I rated them on a scale of all the teams in college football. From a talent standpoint, I graded them a 70, which isn't bad for the conference they're in. That's one of the better numbers. Problem is, you're competing against an SEC recruitment, which I've got Mississippi at number 22. So even the mediocre to bad, well, mediocre or less teams in the SEC are still bringing in quality people, and that's the advantage they have, as you pointed out, which is why when you're catching them as an underdog, you say, well, they recruit a whole lot better than Memphis does. And the thing that concerns me from Memphis is this is considered to be a home game, but they're only 85 miles away from where Mississippi plays, so I think it'll be like a 50-50 type of thing. But, yeah, I'm a little bit confused on this game, too.
All right, Bruce, you do a lot with power ratings here. I'm sure that the more accurate line was probably Memphis -4, but now at 5.5, are we too late to the party?
Well, I think there's value on the Ole Miss side here. And part of the reason, I think, because this line is moved, some of the things that Brian said. You've got new coordinators. We'll get into them in a second for Ole Miss. But also because the last time Ole Miss came down here, they were good a few years ago, and that's when Paxton Lynch was at Memphis.
Yes.
And Memphis let them have it pretty good. Memphis has stepped up pretty good at home in the Liberty Bowl, beat UCLA a couple years ago, so they have beaten some Power 5 teams here in the Liberty Bowl. But like you said, it's a short ride up here. There's Ole Miss people in Memphis, a great college football town, by the way. A lot of them are going to be there at this game. It's these coordinators, though, that might make the difference. Matt Luke probably has to win this year. Now, they're off probation. They can go to a bowl game if they get good enough this year, if they can win 6 at Ole Miss. But he brought in Rich Rod as his coordinator, and he brought in Mike McIntyre as his defensive coordinator. Rodriguez coordinating the offense. He's putting in the same offense that he had at Arizona, the one that he had at Michigan, West Virginia before that, Tulane even before that. They think Matt Corral, the redshirt freshman, comes from California, actually. When's the last time you've seen Ole Miss go out to California to get a recruit?
Doesn't happen very often.
Not too often. They think this kid can run the offense pretty well. And because look what happened in Arizona. I mean, since when Rich Rod was there last, they made Khalil Tate a peripheral Heisman contender 2 years ago. I think he can make a big difference. And with him in there, I think there's some value in this number here. Remember, Memphis, good, yes. That defense, listen, they gave up more leads last year than the Mets bullpen did the first half of this season. If you saw them collapse against UCF and that bowl game against Wake Forest, I mean, they were paper mache in the second half of those games. I think Ole Miss, we can take a stand here. We can take a leap with Ole Miss.
All right, Brian, at 5.5, you'd play Ole Miss. Do you think it gets to 6?
If it gets to 6, I'm interested in
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Ole Miss. I don't know if it'll get there. Yeah, you talked about the defense for Memphis, and they're playing teams that don't have nearly the talent of an SEC school. And Rich Rod has done well everywhere he's been. Problem is, my concern is it's the first game.
Yep.
And a lot of times you'll see these things happen in the first game where it just takes them a quarter, a half to get going. So maybe a second half play. We'll keep an eye on that for in-game betting.
All right, great stuff, guys. WagerTalk TV users get $25 in wager bucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com.